While people will celebrate the 4th of July this weekend, it didn't become a national holiday until 1870. So festivities around the day weren't always as large. And as Fox 43's Alex Colley shows us, there's only one documented speech from George Washington given on Independence Day. And it happened in South Central Pennsylvania.
In July of 1791, then President George Washington is making his way through Pennsylvania. Even in a time without phones, when George Washington is in your area, word travels fast.
People knew he was coming. They actually went to greet him sort of along the river between York and Lancaster. He went to Wright's Ferry, and it's all very well documented. Washington kept very good journals.
One of the people waiting for the president in Lancaster County is Edward Hand, whose path is similar to Washington's, serving in western PA and then ultimately fighting the crown during the Revolutionary War.
Trained soldiers were hard to come by. He rose in the ranks to become Washington's adjutant general, which essentially meant he was his right-hand man throughout planning engagements.
Hand served early in the war all the way through Yorktown, and we know exactly how highly Washington thought of his former general.
At the very end of the war, Washington sends Hand a letter that basically says, since the war is over, I can tell you what I truly think of you. And he says how much of an asset he was and what a good man he was, that he thought he was, honest. He actually also asked him to have a cabinet position. It was held open for him for a little bit, but Hand ultimately declined because he didn't want to move to Philadelphia.
While Washington was in Lancaster County, he was asked to stay and be a part of the Independence Anniversary celebration.
Our understanding of Washington is that he definitely didn't like to make these impromptu speeches. They weren't his favorite thing to do, but he did oblige. He actually gave his only public July 4th speech that we've been able to document to the citizens of Lancaster.
Gentlemen, your congratulations on my arrival in Lancaster are received with pleasure, and the flattering expressions of your esteem are replied to with sincere regard. While I confess my gratitude for the distinguished estimation in which you are pleased to hold my public services, a sense of justice to my fellow citizens ascribes to other causes the peace and prosperity of our highly favored country. Her freedom and happiness are founded in their patriotic exertions and will, I trust, be transmitted to distant ages through the same medium of wisdom and virtue. With sincere wishes for your social, I offer an earnest prayer for your individual welfare.
So then Washington writes in his journal that after having the speech and participating in some of the celebrations, he visited General and Mrs. Hand and had tea with them.
The Hands eventually moved from their home around Penn Square in downtown Lancaster and built historic Rock Ford in the county. But his appreciation for Washington was evident until the end.
Edward Hand passed away in 1802. They did a probate inventory of the home, and one of the things specifically listed is a portrait of George Washington.
Looking at these records, artifacts, and journals helps historians see the past and these figures in a different light than most.
And I think that's something really important to be considering as we move into the 250th, that these were men. They weren't perfect, but they still were able to do something incredible and create a new country.
Alex Colley, Fox 43.